Hi, I'm Philip Gould and I'm a researcher here at Highlands Biological Station. I've been doing research here for 4 years now, and we've been able to study quite a few things. My focus is on streams, specifically headwater streams, which are really small bodies of water that generally don't have fish. So in these streams, what's common here are salamanders, which is where my studies are focused on. I'm particularly interested in black-bellied salamanders, which are among the largest of the salamanders that occupy headwater streams. So of the research that I've done with Highlands, I've been really fortunate to be able to spend some time here and also to go over to the Black-bellied area of Nantahala National Forest, where we do our primary studies. Of those, I've been able to try to get at the ecology of black-bellied salamanders, which is to say, how many animals are there and what's driving that, as well as what other functions do they have in these streams. One of the important things I've tried to understand about black-bellied salamanders and headwaters is their role in moving nutrients from terrestrial to aquatic habitat. So unlike fish, salamanders have the opportunity and ability to go between the water and the land that's directly next to streams. And so as a consequence, they may consume food or insects or other salamanders from the upland area and bring it back to the stream where they excrete it. And so some of my research is focused on identifying the rates of excretion within the streams, as well as what it is that they're eating. And so this summer, I've been able to identify some of the stomach contents of these black-bellied salamanders, and we've really seen quite an interesting variety of invertebrates, as well as some other vertebrate prey that's quite interesting, like smaller salamanders. Particularly, again, this summer, some of the research I've done has gone a little further away from the stream. So over the last 3 years, and in going into our 4th year this summer, we've been studying the effects of wildfire over in the Black-bellied area. So in 2016, there was a significant amount of wildfire in western North Carolina, and one of those was the Camp Branch wildfire, which occurred in the Black-bellied area just outside of Franklin, North Carolina. So what we've done is, since then, 2017 and on, we've gone back and surveyed the same area to count the number of salamanders present, to see how that number has changed over time. And what we're beginning to see is that the populations of salamanders initially declined and have begun to recover in many of the lower intensity burned areas. So I'm very thankful for Highlands to allow us back again this year so that we can continue surveying there and get continued long-term data so that we have a better idea of how salamanders are going to recover in the face of future wildfires or other disturbances that may be occurring. This is a smaller example of the species that I study, and they can get nearly 2 times longer and probably 4 to 5 times heavier than this animal that you see here. So they are really the dominant predator within these streams because there are no fish. And so they've been known to eat all sorts of things, anything that can fit in its mouth really, including other salamanders, insects, crayfish, even snails I've found in their diets. And so some of my research is really focusing on identifying how much of their diet is coming from the near terrestrial area, because they spend so much time in the water. And that's really important, because if they're spending more time in the water, they may actually be moving energy and nutrients into the stream, which is a really important process for these headwaters. So the reason these guys are called black-bellied salamanders, as you can tell, is because when they're adults, they have these nice dark bellies, and no other salamander has these, especially not here in the Appalachians. So if you're ever wondering what type of stream salamander do I have, if you can flip it over, you can definitely tell if it's a black-bellied salamander or not.